Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. How's everybody doing today? I'm going to take a shot at this. This is take one right now. We'll see if I can do this. I guess today I want to talk about grief and being an oracle, grief and being an artist, how we weave those two things together always is going to be a theme here on the channel. That's why it's called Artists and Oracles. And since I haven't yet done a intro to the channel and myself really officially, I guess I'll just keep weaving in some of the basic themes so you know what they are when you first come here. So when I say artists, I mean all kinds of artists, not just visual artists. So many times in Western culture in particular, I guess, if you say you're an artist, people assume you're a painter, you're a sculptor, you're someone who makes visual arts with your hands, you're a jeweler. To me, an artist is anyone who works with the sacred arts, and there are so many of them. I mean, writers are artists, theater people are artists, and I happen to be a theater person. That's my official background, my degrees in theater, acting and directing. But anyone who works in the theater, in my opinion, is absolutely an artist. It takes a whole tribe of people to make anything from a stage show to a television production or anything of the sort, film production. So artists are varied, and many of the healing arts are, I consider that to be an artist as well. To be a doctor in the old traditional sense, a medicine person, is to be an artist. So that's how I'm going to use that here, and that's kind of who I'm talking to when I say artists. That's who I'm calling to. I'm calling to all of us who identify in any way. And as we go along, I'm going to hopefully convince you all, I guess I'll just say convince you all, that really all human beings are artists. I really believe that, because to be creative, which is at the root of being an artist, is to be co-creative, and we all have that ability, and that's our sacred task here, is to be co-creating our lives and co-creating with each other. So there's that at the start. So artists. And then the oracles part is reaching out to those who work with divination in any way in their lives, who particularly work with and resonate with a form of divination with cards, tarot and oracle cards. So there's a little bit of an introduction for what this is all about. But today, let's talk about grief, because it's certainly up for humanity right now, right? It's all around us. Well, it's been up for 2 years because of the pandemic, for sure. And now in the last 2 weeks, we've all had to bear witness to deep grief happening in Eastern Europe. So there's all of that as a background, as a context, as a noise that we're all coping with, each day. Oops, sorry. There's something in my mouth. But I'm going to talk about my own personal grief today. So it's about, 3 o'clock in the afternoon here in New York on the East Coast of the US. It's March 9th, I guess. I keep looking over here because I'm looking out my office window and it's snowing. 2 days ago it was 70 degrees here, 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and now today it's snowing. So surreal, one more surreal thing going on. But late last night, or early this morning, right around midnight I think it was, my husband and I were at the animal hospital with our sweet little cat, Meara. And I'll say right now, if you don't want to see any tears, you probably should click away because I'll probably be crying at some point. I'm not telling you this story. And we had to say goodbye to her. She's been sick since early December. She was diagnosed with a tumor behind her eye. And, you know, if you're a cat person, an animal person, it's heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking. And you do what you can and you try to prepare. And then, you know, just like with a person, right? It's so hard. She's the sweetest little cat. Oh my God, such a sweet cat. I've lived with cats my whole life. I've been really very fortunate to live with cats my whole life and just love them so, so much. And this cat just taught me and my husband so much. I mean, she was such a wise soul. And we didn't have her that long, less than 10 years. Not sure, I think 7 or 8 years we had her. And she was, you know, middle-aged and had been someone else's cat before we had her. She was fully formed. She had her own little sassy personality. And but we just all bonded and became this little unit. And we had all kinds of fun and adventures together. She's the best traveling cat ever. That's a whole other story. I'll tell that another time. But so anyway, I am catless today, and so I keep going through waves of grief and not so much sadness, just gratitude, really deep gratitude for all that she taught me, all that she gave to me and to Jonathan. Cats are just so magical. They're just so magical. So anyway, that grief today is sort of mixing with all the other grief. It's like a tiny drop in this big ocean of grief that's sort of covering the earth right now, right? And it doesn't make it any less important, but it's certainly just a drop compared to the ocean of what people are dealing with right now. So in that spirit, I'm going to bring it back to Oracle. I'm always going to bring it back to Oracle, Tarot Oracle on this channel. So I'm going to pull a card. I've actually pulled a card already from this deck, and I'm going to pull another one. And here's the first one I pulled. So here, let me show you. So this is, I've had very little sleep, you guys. I can't believe I'm even doing this if it makes it up. This is, I had like 3.5 hours sleep last night. This is one of my most beloved decks. I mentioned this on Gerald's Live the other day. And this is the Empathic Oracle by Steve Wilson and Michelle Motuzas. Such a great little deck. It's mass market. You can get this. I highly recommend it, especially if you are an artist or an oracle. Because another theme I'm going to be talking about, kind of assumption I'm going to be making, and you can either buy it or not buy it. It's totally cool either way, but An assumption I always make is if you're an artist or someone who does oracle, or really anyone who walks a spiritual path, you are sensitive. You are a sensitive. You are wired in a slightly different way from the majority of human beings on this planet. And we've known this for ages and ages. We know this, right? We're just now beginning to really discover it. We've looked to our artists to show us things in a sensitive way that we're not able to see or express. Forever, we've looked to oracles to divine for us, to connect us to the divine, to speak guidance to us that we don't have access to. And to do those things, one must be sensitive, extra sensitive, not too sensitive. There's a difference, and we're learning and we're discovering this right now. I just had this conversation with Gerald the other day. It's not that we're overly sensitive, but we are sensitive in a particular way. We have particular gifts. I feel we have particular wiring, and that needs to be understood, honored, respected, protected. And so if you believe any or all of that, and you're a card person, you might want to check out this deck, because this is a brilliant deck to teach us about that, the Empathic Oracle. So let's pull a card. Here's the backs. Everybody likes to see the backs. The first card I pulled earlier, well, actually, I dumped a whole bunch of cards on the ground, and this was on top, and it's the one that jumped out at me. So in my sleep-deprived state, I took it. It's a surrender card. So there's the start. Let's pull one more. And then I think I'll just read to you from the book for both of them. One card for this group. Okay. Non-Duality. Not a card that I know all that well. I don't know if I've ever pulled this card. Surrender, non-duality. Let's put them together. Let's see what we get. I gotta put on my specs for that. So surrender is number 46. When the answers cannot be found, I surrender so that I may listen for the answer that resides in stillness. When you want what you want, your stubbornness can cause you to invest yourself in situations that will never come to fruition. The busyness of your mind and the power of your emotional needs can quickly take over your energetic experience and make it difficult to see, hear, and discern what is right in front of you. When the stubbornness turns to obsession, something must give, and your energetic stability can become the victim of your compulsions. You can spend an entire lifetime obsessing about something that will never come to be. Better to surrender and reassess where your energies can serve their higher purpose. Surrender. Okay, and then the card we just drew here now is number 49, Non-Duality. This is a longer write-up. Let's see what part of this we want to read. So a little key phrase that starts it says, that which I believe becomes my reality. Let me sit in front of that light. So sorry, so I'm not blinding you guys. That which I believe becomes my reality. As we each walk our path in life, we experience things that are perceived as good or bad. That's what duality is, right? Good or bad. As empaths, the universe strives to teach us that there is a different choice. This other choice is called non-duality. Through judgments and labels, thoughts and emotions are projected out into the world as energy. It's not hard to see that the projected experience of most, because of duality, is one of fear and lack. It's not hard to see that. Seeing is one thing, but feeling this constant barrage of energetic judgment, labeling, fear, and lack becomes very taxing to empaths. It is a lower vibration, henceforth it is the heaviness that often becomes your daily experience in the world. When you give in to the same process of duality, you add your own energies to this experience. And because of your power, you can become your own worst enemy. Energy follows intention, and what you intend becomes your reality. The practice of positive thought and affirmations can be helpful, but isn't even that a duality? The very first moment of drama or upheaval can uproot all of the positivity, leaving you to wonder why. When you realize that sometimes bad things happen to lead to greater learnings, that adversity can build emotional strength. And as all experiences can lead to energetic wisdom, that path becomes one of energetic ascension. Anyway, there's a little bit more. I don't know, I'll leave it there. So we'll weave these two together. So we have surrender, non-duality. So what if we surrendered to non-duality right now amidst all of the upheaval and the fear and the anger and the side-taking and the righteousness and the deep, deep grief that is upon us? What if we just surrendered? I don't know. There you have it. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you again. Take care.